after Shingi has addressed his question, we'll then read through the question that has been sent in the chat box. Yes, go ahead, Shingi.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, Doctor, for such a empowering message. May I also maybe take some time to also say I like the part when you were talking about skills. And also you were talking about it's very important to have necessary skills for certain professions. How do you come up with a strategy that can maybe, is it possible even to venture into a business? Probably it's not your background of learning, but you want to venture into that business. For example, I want to say probably you previously before or did not maybe trained to become a teacher or a pharmacist or whatever. How do you marry between also taking, do you need to have that skill set on your own, and how can you set up that business to implement it and to provide a service to the community? We understand that probably our backgrounds or the way that we are coming up from different backgrounds, but you can venture into another business that is way different from what you've previously studied before. So is it if possible even, or you have to stick to your previous background? Thank you very much.
Over to you, Doc.
Thank you very much. Very important question. So a business can be run better if you have an idea of what's happening. But nothing stops you from running a business where you also work with others. By that I mean, you may be skilled in the business that you're pursuing, or you might not be skilled in the business that you're pursuing. Both businesses can succeed. I'm pursuing a business in fintech, wherein I don't think I've training or skill in it, but I'm working with colleagues who are quite skilled in that particular area. I have a role, obviously, that I also play, but not necessarily being the core of the business that we're pursuing. So it's possible that you can actually pursue a business for which you're not previously trained, but it's usually difficult if you have no idea of what's going on. But however, the beauty about skill is that you can just focus on what you need to know. It won't be a long discourse or a long dissertation where you need to know about a lot of things, but just to know about how what you are pursuing is a solution to some question or to some problem that you're trying to solve. You can actually get to know about what is entailed, even though you might not be an expert in it. So it's possible. I've seen others do that. But like I said, the best is if you would pursue what you have trained, because you know you are also skilled, so that you are part of what you are pursuing. So what I've said is it's possible, but it's better if you would pursue what you are skilled in. Then lastly, leading a business also does not mean you must be skilled in it. You just must lead. Leading is another skill, which is different from a primary training skill of, say, you're an engineer or a pharmacist, like you were saying. You can just be a leader and be able to lead. There are some people that have been successful in leading businesses wherein they've not necessarily had the primary skill of that particular business as may be required. But because they were good leaders, they were able to still to lead those businesses. And they could also be the owners of the business as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doc. I hope Shingi, you have been answered enough. Then there are questions that have been sent in the chat box. The first one by Maria: how should one strike a balance between building a professional career rising up the corporate ladder and building your own businesses. Usually, the first few years of several careers are demanding, and there is often an exchange, especially of energy and time. So, I think in summary, it is asking how can individuals effectively manage, the demands of advancing their corporate career while simultaneously pursuing entrepreneurship, considering that, as you mentioned, the initial challenges and time constraints typically associated with both parts. I think you can take that one, Doc.
Thank you. I think very pertinent question. So I think as you pursue your professional career in the corporate world, I would assume that's the context here. It will be important that you focus on that career and be an expert to the extent that the expertise and the skills you're building, they become a premise or a basis for what you'll use for your entrepreneurship. And that's number one. Number two, as you are working in the corporate, if you work hard, plan, and execute, over time, you will notice that your turnaround improves. Turnaround meaning the time you take to deliver particular solutions or to complete certain work, you start to improve. And when you improve, the beauty about it is you then get to have more time to start other things. So the time that starts to come through as you get better at what you are doing in your corporate work, you start to use that time for your entrepreneurship, so that you begin to take time perhaps to research, take time to find opportunities, take time to do this and that over time. So the balance is it comes over time, not at the beginning perhaps, but it comes as you continue to gain experience. Because as you gain experience, you can do faster what you were doing before, and then you can create more time to start to pursue your entrepreneurship, even within the time that you are working in the corporate. That's what I've done. So I'm just speaking for what I've done, for what.
Yes, I think your mic was now muted.
Oh, sorry. Okay, let me take that again. Sorry, I thought it was not muted. Okay, sorry about that. So I was saying, as you start your career in the corporate, you start focusing on your work, and you need to do it so well that over time you start to gain some time to do other things, because you start to work faster than you're doing before for the same tasks. And as you do that, the time that you are creating, you're starting to create, you use it for your entrepreneurship pursuits. Maybe by starting to do research, by starting to finding opportunities, and by also trying to see how you can set yourself up and so forth. For me, that's what I've done. As the experience was coming, I was also getting to know how to do my work faster and getting some bit of time to pursue entrepreneurship. That became the balancing act over time. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Doc, for that. I think we'll take Esther, who is raising her hand, and then we'll take two questions that are in the chat box, and then we call it a night. So, Esther, over to you.
Thank you so much, Doc, and thank you so much, the host. Okay, so for mine, it's a comment. I like the point that you mentioned, that we should pursue something that you are passionate about. It's something that I've witnessed in my tech career journey. Like at some point in the early stage, I was doing something that I was talented with, but not really passionate about. But as I started climbing up the ladder, I then pursued something that I really liked. And what I noticed is sometimes if you're passionate about something, right, it ignites creativity. So one is mostly able to actually do some things that are great, and also you're very innovative about it as well. So yeah, it's actually an important thing for us as young people to pursue things that we really like, because it's going to be our whole life on this job or anything that we want to pursue. So we need something that gives us fulfillment and happiness, and also will have so much personal growth. So yeah, thank you so much, Doc, for that.
Yes, thank you so much, Esther, for this contribution that you've shared with us. Thank you so much. And then I will read a question that's there in the chat box by Colin. Is it possible to start a promising business and at the same time protect it from being snatched and being outdone by those who have got enough capital? I think that's one of the fears that the young people have. May kindly address that. Thank you so much.
Sorry, apologies. Network issue on my side. If you may repeat the question, apologies for that.
That's okay. So there's a question that has been sent by Colin. He's saying, is it possible to start a promising business and at the same time protect it from being snatched and being outdone by those who have enough capital?
Thank you. I think that's a very good question.
Yes.
And in terms of where I started, down the line, what comes up first is ability to find or to develop solutions for questions or for problems that you're trying to solve. In some instances, others then also then innovatively set up new things, new solutions, which then they also even patent as well as a way of protecting themselves. So patenting is also an important piece of making sure that you also try to protect your business as well. But the base of it is more on the basis of the fact that if you are the one providing a solution, you definitely will have the base for the business. And what you need to do is to protect yourself by making sure that in some instances you have IPs that you keep for yourself. If it was in the technology world and so forth, those are things that you can also do to protect yourself. But in principle, to the extent that you are the one who's providing solution, you still have that asset sitting with you. There is much that money can, much that capital can do, which obviously won't go beyond the generation of solutions. The innovation that we have cannot be bought. It can only be funded when it is actually completed. So in a way, you continue to have that as your asset, the ability to provide the solution. Then another way of doing it is to make sure that you, as you profile your business and solutions, you put up structures that protect you legally, so much that even in future you're able to continue your business and have rights to your business, even if others try to then come up to try and snatch the business and so forth. Those are some of the things that work. Though of course, it's not to say that snatching might not be able to happen. It may happen actually, especially if you don't put risk mitigants around your business. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Doc, for that. I'll just read through the two remaining questions. What's the organic way to land a mentor? I speak from a point where only a few individuals are exemplary, but they have many aspiring mentees. So how can one position themselves to get access or find alternative mentors without getting desperate or appearing like a bootlicker? Is there a mentor hub? Okay. And then the other one is, okay, I think you can take that one and then I'll read through the other question.
All right. I think in terms of getting a mentor, I think what's important is to understand what you're trying to achieve. A mentor is somebody who would be able to help you in your pursuits. Basically, somebody who can handhold you in some instances, and then at some point release you into the world. Somebody who is able to give you some direction, which will be helpful for you to grow. Somebody who's able to take you beyond perhaps what you could achieve by yourself. And then lastly, somebody who's able to have your interests at heart, and that's key. So a mentor and a mentee need to have some sort of professional relationship wherein there's intention from both ends to achieve the intended goals. So mentor must be interested in mentoring the mentee to be able to be better than they were. The mentee should be able to identify this mentor on the basis of values, right? The mentee must have values against which they measure potential mentors. Otherwise, otherwise you end up with a wrong mentor, especially if your values are different. By values, we're talking about, if to you integrity matters more, then you should try and find a mentor who has integrity. If to you an innovation is important, you'd want a mentor who's able to lead you around issues of innovation. If you want a mentor who's driven by excellence in what they do, a mentor of that such nature is what you want to identify the mentors or potential mentors and pick one who works for you by way of interacting with them and seeing if you are able to achieve a professional relationship to achieve your intended goals as a mentee.
Thank you so much for that take, Doc. I think, yeah, how best can one get to know him or yourself so as to choose the ideal business to pursue? I think you can just summarize that one, and then the last question, I'll just read it through.
Come again, sorry, network issue, sorry about that.
Okay, how best can one get to know him or yourself so as to choose the ideal business to pursue?
All right, that's a big subject, to know yourself. And I think it takes quite a while. I'll just summarize by saying use tests or competence tests that tell you the person you actually are. Sometimes you might assume you are something else when you're actually something else. So when you do that, it becomes a basis for you to understand yourself a little bit better and be able to know what intrigues you, what you like and what you don't like, what you're good at, what you're not good at, your strengths and your weaknesses. Some of these, they don't come out because of the path of life you follow, but they can only come out if they are tested. They come out. So there are different ways of testing personality and other aspects of you, which can help expose who you are. And it is on the basis of that you can then say, with this being the kind of person I am, what do I want to pursue? That's one. Then number two, there are also, from your experience, things that you like, that you already know, that you're passionate about. So you can pursue on the basis of what you like, what you love, what you're passionate about. Then number three, perhaps the last one, is to also ask others for feedback. Some people can tell you what they see of you, and you can ask what kind of person you are, and then that can actually get you closer to who you are, and then work.
Thank you so much for that take, Doc. I think the last one, yeah, this is the last question from Dr. Joe. I'm not coming from a business standpoint, but rather a church organization perspective. To what extent would the shared principles help develop the church if you are to approach the church as a business entity? While I'm referring to the Adventist church, I think the same can apply to other denominations for success.
Yeah, so I think shared vision is a good premise to make sure that you work together well. Then you are able to craft together a shared strategy and an approach for your organization to be able to succeed, and put parameters that you agree upon to say this is how we're going to make sure that our strategy that we've set can actually run well. And then to make sure that the strategy is implemented properly, you need to approach it in a project manner where you set up frameworks which are able to make sure that the frameworks that you have set are able to guide the implementation of strategy in a manner wherein you achieve your key agreed achievements or indicators of success on the basis of your strategy. This definitely would work. And what is also important is that when doing all this, there's need for need for recognition of strengths and weaknesses, so much that you don't do what you can't, because there's always a problem where somebody may end up pursuing what they can't do, and that crumbles the framework of what you have set for your organization. Again, it comes back to my earlier indication of skills set, the issue of competence. That becomes a key cog to making sure that you operationalize your framework as an organization to succeed on the plan that you've set for yourself. As long the skills and competence are absent, then the results will definitely not match what's expected generally. So for me, the issue of skills and competence is very important. And to arrive at skills and competence, there's need for candid engagement. If you can't, you can't. Look for somebody else who can. It doesn't mean that if you can't, then you are less of a person or you are a bad person. No, it doesn't follow. Or you're a weak person. No, it just means that you're not skilled in that area. That's all. And you look for those that are skilled in those areas to be able to make sure that you realize the intended outcomes of your strategy on the basis of your framework. Well, I hope I've answered the question. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think, yeah, you have really well answered it. Thank you so much. I think this is the end of our meeting. Probably you may be having something to say before I just give some concluding remarks, and then we call it a night.
I think from my end, just to thank you for the opportunity. I don't have much to say. I think quite appreciate opportunity to speak and also to benefit from others. Always important that we share and improve each other in our different circles of life, whether they be in our careers, whether they be in our families, whether they be in our different religions or in our different workplaces or in our different businesses. It's always important to share, because as we share, we then grow and we can always deal with issues that we need to deal with to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think as we conclude our virtual business seminar, I just want to express my heartfelt appreciation to each and every one of you for joining us today. Your presence and engagement have truly made this event exceptional. And I want to extend a special thank you to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Fungura, the CEO of ZB Financial Holdings. I think your words of wisdom on identifying and solving problems, persistence, strategic thinking, continuous learning, you have left an indelible mark on all of us. And your sights on embracing failure, even as a learning curve. Actually, I think it resonates deeply with many of us. And it reminds us that setbacks are really stepping stones to success. I think as we move forward, let's always continue carrying the lessons that we have taken from this presentation. Let's embrace challenges with resilience, approach every opportunity with a strategic intent, as been said in the meeting, and never cease our pursuit of knowledge and growth. And let's always remember that our journey to success is always a shared one. Let's keep connected. Let's support each other. Let's continue to thrive each other together as we change the African narrative. Keep an eye out for more enriching programs by Youth Empowerment Hub for the year 2024. It's going to be massive and packed as well. And we also have different opportunities that will be coming your way in the year 2024. I think before you leave the meeting, for further inquiries, many were asking, how can we stay connected? Feel free to reach us via email at empowerhub24@gmail.com. I've put the email in the chat, or you connect with us via our social media platform handles. That's Youth Empowerment Hub. It can be on Facebook or LinkedIn or any other social media platform. Don't forget to reach us. And also, I've shared the WhatsApp link to our group chat, whereby you just ask your question freely, and then probably for presentations that will be coming for the future sake, I think we'll also engage the speakers to address some of those pertinent questions. Thank you once again for your participation and enthusiasm. Here's to a future filled with endless possibilities and boundless success. With gratitude and determination, I am your host, Delight Mandina. I'm signing off. May God bless you and may you have a blessed night. Thank you so much.
Thank you and good night.
Thank you.